Good evening, I'm Len Cannon, bringing you the news from my home to yours.
And I'm Mia Gradney at our KHOU 11 studios. We have a lot to get to tonight. We are talking about an historic spike in unemployment claims and what's being done to help you file a claim. A Missouri City councilman has a message as he battles the coronavirus in the ICU. And as you wait for that stimulus payment, we are looking at the kinds of scams you should not fall for.
Now to a shocking look at the economic pain being felt during this pandemic. Look how fast unemployment claims are rising, up to 6.6 million just last week. That is a staggering figure. And making matters worse, thousands of you simply cannot get through to the Texas Workforce Commission to apply for unemployment benefits. That's because there is one heck of a logjam. At one point last week, the agency got 1.7 million calls in a single day. Tonight, Matt Doherty is taking a look at the delays, and he has good news for those getting through.
If you've recently lost your job, you are not alone, and we are all hopeful that this is only temporary. Not all of us know someone who's tested positive for COVID-19, but most of us can say we know someone who's been laid off, furloughed, or fired.
I pretty much have been doing this day and night searching for jobs.
Albert Flores says he's applied for more than 100 jobs since he recently lost his.
You don't know if it's going to be this week, next month, 2 months from now. You really don't know.
Last week, more than 275,000 Texans filed for unemployment. The week before that, more than 155,000. At this rate, the Texas Workforce Commission says we'll surpass all of 2019's unemployment claims within a 1-month span. There have been a lot of problems reported with workers attempting to file claims. New rules aimed at fixing this allows for payments to, for the first time, be retroactive. It means you can collect unemployment for the time period since you first lost work.
Just be honest so that they're not giving people false hope.
Flores says he hopes the job postings online are legitimate. Right now, the healthcare industry is reportedly hiring the most jobs. There are nearly 1,300 jobs posted within a 30-mile radius of the Texas Medical Center, according to its website. How quickly they'll turn into paychecks for the hundreds of thousands in Texas still looking for work is yet to be seen. Now, there are a lot of resources for those who have just lost work, and we'll help you sort through them all. Just go to our website, khou.com. Back to you.
There are hundreds of thousands of job openings across Texas right now, and as Matt just mentioned, mostly in the medical industry. CVS is also hiring with nearly 700 jobs in the greater Houston area. The website workintexas.com shows roughly 500 jobs in our area, and it is recommended by the Workforce Commission. The city of Houston is hiring too. It has more than 100 job openings.
And now for a look at the latest number of positive cases around the world. We reached a grim milestone today, surpassing 1 million cases, with the majority of them in the U.S. Nearly 53,000 people have died, but more than 210,000 have made full recoveries. Closer to home, we have surpassed 1,600 cases in our surrounding counties, with the majority in Houston and Harris County. But remember, the numbers will keep rising as more people get tested, and the vast majority of people who have it are well enough to recover at home. Several counties are also reporting full recoveries. And speaking of testing, a third United Memorial Medical Center testing center opened today. It's at Forest Brook Middle School in Northwest Houston on Tidwell near Highway 290. It is free, open to the public, and you don't need to be pre-screened in order to get tested. For the full list of all the testing sites in our area, head to khou.com. There is new information on how COVID-19 can spread, and it's a lot easier than scientists expected. New research suggests coronavirus can spread through talking and even breathing. But the World Health Organization says there's not enough evidence to convince them the virus is spread that easily. But it is pushing the White House task force closer to recommending all Americans wear masks anytime they leave their homes. Here's what Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner says about that.
Basically, I say to people, if you have them, fine. If you have them, use them. But until we get a more definitive answer, it's not where we are saying you have to have them. And then we also know that, N95 masks, KN95 masks are in short supply. Surgical masks are in short supply. And my number one priority is to make sure the healthcare providers, our first responders, have what they need so that they can serve the general population.
Mayor Turner also says all first responders are approaching calls as if everyone has the virus. He's also welcoming any donations.
Spring cleaning has turned into daily cleaning for a lot of us. So here's a closer look at the areas in your home you should focus on every day. Let's run it down. Pretty much any surface or object that you and your family touch a lot. And you know what those are. Things like toilet handles, faucets, doorknobs, light switches, countertops, remote controls, even the door handles of your refrigerators, oven, and microwave. And don't forget to clean your cell phones, tablets, and laptops. If you don't have any disinfectant, a little bit of soap and water on a rag will do. But if you're making your own bleach solution, a little bleach goes a long way. Just 1/3 of a cup per gallon of water.
It does not have to be very concentrated. I think people think if a small amount is good, more is better, and that is absolutely not the case. You can overdo bleach.
It's a good idea to disinfect your car as well. Wipe down those door handles, the steering wheel, the gear shift, and the dashboard. And while a lot of us are staying home as much as possible, there is one place that is very hard to avoid, and that is the grocery store. But there are steps to make sure that you can keep yourself safe. Tonight, Lauren Tallarico shows you how.
You've got to eat. And those cupboards won't fill themselves. But for many, during the times of COVID-19, a trip to the grocery store might come with a side of anxiety. Dr. Melanie Mozoon, managing physician for immunization practices at Kelsey-Seybold, explains the safest way to shop.
And that's mostly spread within a distance of 6 feet. So trying to stay away from crowded aisles and not being right next to somebody picking over the bananas is a good plan.
The virus can live on most surfaces for 2 to 3 days. Since you don't know who touched that food last, be careful not to touch your face while shopping.
Use those disinfectant wipes. You can grab one of their plastic bags and hold the cart handles with your plastic bags, and even pick up your items with your hand in the plastic bag.
And leave the kids at home. They're not good at not touching stuff.
When you get them home, it's not a bad idea to kind of Lysol the whole batch of groceries. Your produce can be washed before you eat it.
Another tip, try to be organized before you shop. Write a list and make your trip as quick as possible. And after you shop and put groceries away, wipe down surfaces and wash your hands.
The more you can wash your hands and maintain some distance from people, the more likely you'll stay healthy until you can get a vaccine instead of getting the illness.
Standing for Houston, I'm Lauren Tallarico, KHOU 11 News.
We have a new timeline tonight on when those stimulus payments could start going out.
And there's a new effort to oversee President Trump's response to the pandemic. The president's response tops your 90-second nightcap.
The Trump administration says direct payments will begin to flow in 2 weeks and paper checks in May. Also, the small business loan program will be up and running Friday.
We need to get money to small business and American workers, and that's what we're doing.
House Democrats have created a special select committee on the coronavirus crisis to oversee the administration's response to the pandemic. The president addressed Congress with this veiled comment.
Conducting these partisan investigations in the middle of a pandemic is a really big waste of vital resources, time, attention.
After 12 days at sea, passengers and crew aboard the Zaandam and Rotterdam cruise ships docked at Port Everglades in Florida with coronavirus cases on board. In New York, paramedics received new orders. If they can't revive a patient at the scene, they are not to bring the patient to the hospital. ERs are overwhelmed. Louisiana reported more than 2,700 additional cases in the last 24 hours.
And New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft is joining the fight to help protect healthcare workers on the front lines of the crisis. Kraft helped purchase 1.7 million N95 face masks for hospitals in Massachusetts and New York. The majority of the masks will arrive today. Another shipment is expected early next week.